Hello, my name is Michael Rowlett, and I'm the clarinet professor at the University of Mississippi. Here are a few comments to help you with Rose etude number 18 from the 40 studies. The beginning of this etude is the slow etude for Mississippi Lions Band Year E. One of the things you're going to want to pay very close attention to in this etude is rhythm. Notice, for instance, in measure 5, you have a double dotted eighth followed by a 32nd note, and then at the start of measure 6, you have a dotted eighth followed by a 16th. You want to make sure to distinguish those two rhythms carefully. In general, I find in this etude, it's easiest if you think of the quarter note pulse in the first two lines, and then when you get to line 3, maybe with the pickup Ds going into line 3, you start thinking of the eighth note pulse. You subdivide the pulse in half. That eighth note pulse in the last 3 lines of the etude will help you place all of those 32nd note rhythms correctly. In the first 2 lines, thinking of the quarter will help you switch from duple rhythms in the first 2 measures to the triplet in measure 3. I would especially recommend taking a metronome. In fact, you should practice all of this etude with a metronome. But one very good use for your metronome would be to play the start of measure 3 while you subdivide the triplet by articulating on the quarter note. I'll show you what I mean. Subdivide those triplets when you play the quarter notes. That way you'll hear them in your mind when you go to play it as written. And in general, the quarter note subdivision will help you go from duple to triple easier. The one exception may be that spot in measure 5. You might need to think the eighth note there to make sure you get that double dotted eighth 32nd note correct. Another issue, of course, is the espressivo quality, the expressiveness of this slow solo. A good way to practice that is to practice long tones, choosing a pitch. I like to do it on every pitch of a scale. On each pitch of a scale, I'll practice going 8 counts from as soft as I can play to as loud as I can play, and then 8 counts back down again from as loud as I can play to as soft as I can play. Did that on a D, since that's the first note of the etude. You could continue on up a D major scale and do E and F sharp and G. If you do those slow crescendos and decrescendos, then you'll have the right control to play the long lines of this slow etude. Very gradual crescendos and decrescendos give the sense of anticipation that makes us feel like the melody is really long and sustains the listener's interest in a slow etude like this. Pretty much here in this etude, every note that's longer than an eighth note should be either crescendoing or decrescendoing. Finally, just a few notes about finger technique. The end of this etude is almost as difficult as the fast etude for finger technique. In measure 13, the B, that's the second note, you want to be careful to play that B with only one pinky. A lot of clarinetists have the habit of using both left and right pinkies to play the B, and resting the right pinky on the C key. You will be faster in this measure if you just use your left pinky alone on the B key. That leaves your right pinky free to get the C sharp in the next beat. And that'll help you get off to a good start on that spot. A few things about the way I play this etude. I play it at the quarter note equals 60. I tend to like to go a little slower on this. The guidelines for Lions Band are 60 to 69. You'll hear me more on the 60 end when I play it. Also, I think the crescendo that is printed on the last fermata, the E, the last fermata E in measure 15, I think that crescendo is a mistake. I think it should be a decrescendo. So what you'll hear me do is maybe crescendo a little bit as kind of a compromise when I start the trill, but then decrescendo into the pianissimo on the final T.